All right, you guys, so welcome back to another educational video. Now, I get so many DMs every single day on my Instagram and my clients asking me too as well if running really ruins your gains. And there's two answers to this, okay? Yes and no. Now, the whole topic of this video, and I'm going to put it in the most simplest words and terms and overall ideology possible for you to understand, because a lot of people will try to get into running or start their running journey and they'll end up losing all their muscle and like end up looking like this. And to be honest, this is one of the worst builds you can ever have. You can go up to someone and say, I ran a 100-mile ultra, and they're not even going to be impressed because you look like you've never picked up a weight in your life. Versus over here, and I'm doing 35 to 40-mile weeks right now, you can tell I fucking lift. I'm jacked, I'm swole, and at the same time, I can run. Because I'm telling you right now, one of the biggest things that's going to happen is when you do get big and add on muscle like this over here on the right side, they're going to be like, oh, but you can't run a mile though, but you can't run, you're not in shape. Well, hey, guess what now, motherfucker? Yeah, I am. So let me teach you guys how to have both and how to not end up looking like this guy on the right over here, okay? Now, pillar number one, and this is going to be one of the main topics, is under eating and nutrition, okay? Now, coming over here on the right side, most guys' main problem is when they start to increase their cardio, when they start to increase their runnings, they don't increase their calories or carbs too on top of that. Most people are not tracking their calories to begin with that are in the gym right now, okay? So what happens is most guys are already under eating. Let's just say your maintenance calories to maintain your weight is 3,000 calories per day, right? Most guys don't even know that. They're not tracking anything. So they might be in a deficit already and they don't know that. And what happens is when you go into a calorie deficit, you're losing weight, okay? So if you're eating 2,400 calories a day, you're going to be losing, or just around that range in general because you're not tracking anything, you're going to be losing weight to begin with and you don't even know it, okay? So on top of already being in a deficit, now you're trying to get into running. And over here, most 2 to 5 mile runs, especially if you start to do them almost every day or every other day, you're putting yourself in a deeper and deeper deficit. So you can go down almost to 2,000 calories a day or even 1,500 calories per day, just depending on how your runs are. And you're in a huge ass deficit. And what happens over time is you start to have this build, because on top of you not already training hard, because most of you guys aren't in the gym, you end up losing all your muscle, the muscle you had, the size you had. So you end up looking like this, like you've never picked up a weight in your life. And overall, you ruin your progress, okay? Most guys increase their cardio again, but they don't increase their carbs or calories, and it causes the flat pumps. You're not able to really have any type of blood flow during the gym. You get really small, that soft, stringy look, okay? Your strength fucking plummets down the drain. Now, the key points, again, that I want you guys to realize is that two mile runs, because I would say that's average, not really 5 miles. That's not really an average for an average person. 2 mile runs, you're burning anywhere from like 300 to 400 calories, okay? And again, it's just going to put you into a deeper deficit, and it's going to cause more muscle fullness, and disappears when glycogen drops, which is your carbs. And it looks like muscle loss, but it's actually fuel loss, okay? The one thing that I want you guys to realize is that, let's just say you are eating the 2,400 calories per day and you start running on top of that, you really don't need to increase your protein intake if you're already having the 0.8 to 1.0 grams per pound of body weight per day. You want to increase your carbs, okay? Carbs is what gives your body the fuel and energy it needs, okay? When you get into running, since you're burning a lot more calories and being more active in general, you want to have a lot more carbs than usual. I can tell you guys right now, I can't train right now because I'm letting my tattoo heal. But on my normal training days and my normal like eating clean days, I'm having upwards of 300 to 400 grams of carbs per day. And this is to prevent me losing the muscle, and it ensures that I can still have energy for my lifts, energy for my runs. I can recover properly, and again, not end up looking like this, okay? Now, going into pillar number 2 is training backwards, okay? This is one of the most common things I see people in the gym doing, and people who want to get into running, okay? Now, coming over here on the right is the main problem is that most people will get on the treadmill, they'll get on Stairmaster or go for their runs before they work out. Now, this causes you to have you're not going to have any type of energy for your lifts, okay? Especially if you're going in the gym and heading straight to the treadmill and doing like 30, 40-minute runs or even like a walk. You're burning off all your carbs and energy that you had for your pre-workout meal, if you even have one in the first place, to do your strength training. Strength training should always be your number one priority. That way you don't lose muscle. You can continue gaining muscle. You can continue getting stronger. And strength training is also going to help with your runs too, especially having a heavy leg day. But if you're doing your runs very first, and then doing your training afterwards, you're gonna end up looking like this guy. I'm telling you, that's how it is. And I see it all the time in the gym. People will come in, they'll do the little, dynamic warm-up routine, and then they do fucking 30 minutes on the treadmill and then go strength train afterwards. Now, there's nothing wrong with getting on the treadmill to do like a slow walk to get some blood flow going for like 5 to 10 minutes. That's perfectly fine. But anything over that, you're just wasting energy for strength training, okay? So you always want to prioritize lifting first and then doing your runs after. Now, for me personally, I like to space them out pretty heavily, right? So I usually do my workouts early in the mornings at like 10, 11 a.m. And then I'll do my runs later at night towards like 5 to 6 p.m. That way, after my workouts, I can make sure I'm hydrating again with electrolytes. I'm having a good post-workout meal that's, again, full of carbs. That way I have energy later on for my runs. But if you're doing the running first, you're just asking to lose muscle, okay? Now, coming over here again, running fatigues your legs. And it's, oh my God, especially if you're running before a leg day. Like, are you crazy? There's no way you're going to be able to train hard. Running will fatigue your legs, which leads to weaker squats and less stimulus. You want to have a high stimulus because that's going to be the main thing that drives muscle growth, okay? High intensity runs spikes your cortisol, which is your stress hormone, and it leads to that catabolic look. There's no split structure. Your recovery is shit. No muscle growth, okay? Now, the key points, again, is always lift first. Run after or even on separate days if you're going every other day. Avoid doing daily HIIT workouts or like really high intensity runs, okay? Most of your runs, when you really get into this and you start doing it like 4, 5, 6 days a week, 90% of your runs, you want it to be easy. You don't want to be burning yourself out, right? I always tell people, when you get into running, right, if your best 1 mile time is 10 minutes flat, do you really expect yourself to be doing 10-minute miles for 2 miles, 3 miles, 4 miles? No, because your best 1 mile time is 10 minutes, okay? If you want to start running longer, and this is a whole other topic, but I'm just giving y'all a little bit of tips right here. If you want to start doing longer runs, like 2-mile runs, 3-mile runs, 4-mile runs, etc., you want to go slower on purpose. So you want to go like a 13-minute pace, a 14-minute pace. That way it's easy, low impact, and you can go for longer mileage without burning yourself out, okay? And the hybrid physique is a strength priority and strategic cardio. Again, you want to make sure you're doing your lifts first, training hard, and you can see, like, you should not be weak as a natural lifter or as a runner on top of that, okay? The best combo to have is running fast, running long, and being strong. I'm doing fucking 8 plates as a natural on standing T-bar rows, okay? Like, I'm doing 2 plate weighted pull-ups. And you should be this strong too, if not stronger than me. But most of y'all just don't have a good structured training plan, and you're doing the cardio first, okay? Now, going into pillar number 3 is overall recovery, right? This is the main thing and the main way you're going to get progress through the gym and through your runs, right? The main problem is that running adds stress to your old routine that you didn't have in the first place, and most guys don't adjust their recovery habits, okay? If you're already getting poor sleep, you're not hydrating properly, having electrolytes before your runs and before your lifts, if you're not having enough protein, if you're not doing any type of leg mobility work, stretching after your lifts, not having carbs, you're not going to be able to recover properly. And again, it's going to end up leading to you losing muscle, losing strength, and looking like one of those skinny ass runners that have never picked up a weight in their life, okay? You need to make sure that you're having 20 to 30% more hydration, especially when adding in running, okay? You should be having electrolytes before your lifts, but when you start adding running and cardio on top of everything, you need to make sure you're having a whole separate pack of electrolytes before your runs too as well, especially if you're running outside. I don't know about y'all, but I'm in Florida. If I don't have electrolytes before my runs and I try to go running outside, I will be in the hospital, okay? So you need to make sure you're staying hydrated beforehand, okay? And as far as your protein goal, really you only need 0.8 at the very minimum. But the main thing for recovery, like I talked about earlier, is having high carbs, okay? You need to make sure you're eating clean like 70, 80% of the time. Again, hydrating and making sure your mobility is on point and you're at least stretching or doing some type of foam roll routine after your workouts. That way you're not getting too tight for your runs and from your lifts. And this is something that I include on my clients' programs too as well. I always add in like a full body foam roll, or if they did upper body that day, I'll do an upper body foam roll. I'll make sure they have a little bit of mobility in there. And I always have electrolytes in their meal plans before their lifts and before their runs too as well. And then obviously I create their meal plan based off whole foods and foods they already like, okay? Now, the overall fix and the overall summary for this video is number 1, okay? Make sure that you're still training hard in the gym. Now, as far as the overall structure and your routine goes, and this can be a whole nother topic of a video, you really only need to lift for 3 to 4 days a week. Anything over that, you're not going to be able to recover and you're just overdoing it, okay? Number 2 is nutrition and carbs. You need to make sure you're eating a lot of food, a lot of clean whole foods if you're going to be adding running on top of things already. And it's kind of like a cheat code, especially when you are trying to cut or lose body fat. Getting into running, it allows you to get leaner, be able to keep that, leanness look, and overall eat a lot more food. I don't know about y'all, but I'm a big back, okay? One of the main things I always preach to people, like in my videos and on my page, is that I've been going through these bulking and cutting phases for years, and adding in running this year on top of everything has actually been able to me to, did I just say that? Sorry. It's actually been able to me to keep my physique and keep my leanness, because one of the main things that I always struggled with was going on these cuts, and I would be so hungry no matter how clean my food was or how much volume I had in my diets, and I could never be able to maintain it, and it caused me to go in these cycles for years, okay? And then number 3 is just overall recovery. Make sure that you're having, again, enough carbs, your nutrition is in check, and that you're training hard. But overall, you do not want to have this build. One of the worst builds to have is like going out in public, or like, it just looks like you've never fucking touched a weight in your life. The best build is the hybrid build. And I've been lifting for almost 7 years now, and I've been through every phase: the super cut, the regular cut, the bulked up, the dirty bulk. I've had every look you can think of when it comes to this fitness shit. And the best one is the hybrid build. Being able to run fast, run long, strong as hell, and still have it look like you lift weights, okay? If you guys have any questions about anything, please either comment below or DM me on Instagram. My DMs are always open. And if you're interested in coaching, same thing. Go to my Instagram page. The link is down below. You can see all the client wins I've done over the past couple years and the big ones as of recently. And again, if you guys need any help, just DM me on Instagram. I hope this video really helped out. Running does not ruin your gains if you know how to structure shit properly and you're not under eating and you're still training hard. But most people end up looking like this because they don't know how to do that, okay? I'll see y'all later.